She smiled at the judge as if she already owned the courtroom. Flawless hair tied neat, makeup perfect, posture immaculate. Her voice, smooth and rehearsed, carried across the room, painting me as unstable, controlling, dangerous, a father unfit to hold his own child. I said nothing. I didn't need to. Truth doesn't shout. Truth waits. And when it's ready, it doesn't just arrive. It destroys. The judge called our daughter forward. 6 years old, tiny hands clutching a tablet covered in stickers, her legs swinging like she didn't know the weight of the room, the stakes involved. She looked at me first, then at her mother. The slightest hesitation, the tiniest flicker of a smirk. Then she whispered, "Can I show you something Mummy doesn't know?" The judge hesitated, unsure how to handle this. He nodded eventually. And with that my daughter pressed play. The room filled with laughter first. Innocent, small, fragile laughter. And then a voice. Shut. Oh. Oh. Not a mother tucking her child into bed, not a gentle lullaby, but a performance of malice disguised as intimacy. My wife's smile vanished before the screen even showed her face. The rot beneath her perfect exterior had begun to show months ago, quietly, subtly, like a fungus creeping beneath paint. It did happen overnight. I noticed everything. The subtle shift from we to I in our conversations. The distant tone when she spoke to me, polite but cold. Secretive phone calls she tried to hide. The new perfume she never wore before. The locked office door at home, the late nights she claimed were work. I told myself it was stress, work, exhaustion, but every instinct screamed otherwise. Until I found the hotel receipt. 2 glasses of wine. 1 bed. She called it a client meeting. I nodded. I smiled. I pretended to believe her because rage solves nothing. Knowledge solves everything. I began documenting. Patterns, times, locations, numbers, every little inconsistency. Each lie became a thread. Each thread became a map. And somewhere along that map, I found him, her assistant, someone too familiar to be just a coworker. Messages that weren't just professional, they were intimate, possessive, reckless. Words you whisper to lovers in stolen moments, words that forget the life waiting at home. I did confront her. I didn't need to. I let her destroy herself. Every night became a rehearsal. Every kiss, every touch was staged, performed, devoid of truth. She apologized with her lips but not her heart. She laughed with her voice but not her eyes. The divorce papers came, and she played the victim perfectly. Claimed I had been controlling, distant, unsafe for a child. She underestimated one thing. I had already backed up her messages, downloaded her videos, captured every shred of proof she thought she had erased. One video made my hands tremble, not from shock, but recognition. My daughter's small voice in the background, asking questions, giggling, completely unaware. She had recorded her mother whispering to another man while hiding under a blanket. My daughter had become the unwitting witness to betrayal, to cruelty, to deception. And I understood something that my wife never would. Timing matters more than fury. Patience more than anger. Strategy more than emotion. I said nothing. Let her believe she had won. Let her straight into court radiant, untouchable. Because the moment she felt invincible, I would strike not with words, not with emotion, but with evidence, with truth. Truth, when timed perfectly, is sharper than any blade. The video played. Asks rippled through the room. Her words, cruel, mocking, biting, is pathetic. You know, I can make him look like a monster, and the court will believe me. She thought she was orchestrating my downfall, but the camera had betrayed her. And there she was, laughing, holding a wine glass, with the man she swore was just a colleague beside her. The judge's gavel struck, trying to silence the stunned courtroom. My wife's carefully curated composure shattered into pieces. She turned to me, eyes wide, voice cracking. You planned this? I said nothing. I only looked at my daughter. She smiled, proud, innocent, unaware of the magnitude of what she had just done. She had meant to orchestrate justice. She only wanted to show the truth. A truth doesn't need intentions. It doesn't need planning. It simply exists, and when you allow it to speak, the world rearranges itself. After the courtroom emptied, she confronted me in the parking lot. No cameras. No audience. Just us. Our eyes burned with the panic of a predator realizing its prey isn't alone. You think this makes you a good father? She spat. You used her first, I said calmly. Her eyes widened, fear replacing anger. She opened her mouth, but no words came. She had no script, no performance. For the first time, she realized she had lost. Not to me but to reality. Not to me but to truth. Not to me but to the child she had tried to manipulate, mold, and betray. "Oh, fix this," she whispered, desperation in her voice. "No," I said. "You'll live with it. I got full custody." She lost everything: image, story, reputation, and control. Friends vanished. The man she betrayed me for disappeared before the ink on the verdict dried. I did celebrate. Victory doesn't scream. It whispers. It's the quiet peace that comes when there's nothing left to lose, when the storm has passed, and the ground beneath your feet is finally stable. Some nights, my daughter asks if her mother is coming back. I tell her the truth. Not the kind of truth that punishes, but the kind that protects, teaches, and reassures. Trust is fragile. Trust is everything. I guard it fiercely. That trust is both my penance and my proof. The tablet rests on my desk now, cracked, battered, but still charged. Not evidence anymore. A reminder. A symbol of patience, taming, and the quiet power of truth. The night she pressed play, she didn't just save me. She ended the illusion we all had been living under. The courtroom wasn't her stage. My daughter held the spotlight. And she shone. Looking back, I realized I did win in the conventional sense. I did triumph through violence, rage, or revenge. I won through clarity, strategy, and composure. I won by staying silent when words would have destroyed me. I won by observing, documenting, and letting the universe, or perhaps justice itself, do the rest. She had tried to manipulate, deceive, and destroy. And yet, every lie she told, every mask she wore, every secret she thought was hidden, it all became fuel. Fuel for truth, for revelation, for quiet justice that no courtroom drama could ever fabricate. Sometimes I imagine her, months later, alone in her apartment, staring at empty walls. No friends. No status. No pride. Just silence. And maybe, just maybe, a realization that what she tried to destroy cannot be destroyed: the bond between father and daughter, strengthened by patience, honesty, and love. I never underestimated her. I watched her every move. I recorded, documented, and observed. But I never acted recklessly. I never allowed anger to cloud judgment. I allowed time, patience, and truth to do the work. And in that courtroom, in the silence that followed the video, everything she had tried to construct crumbled. Every carefully rehearsed performance failed. Every lie she had crafted became her downfall. Sometimes late at night my daughter curls up with me, half asleep, murmuring, "Will mommy come back?" I hold her close, whisper the truth softly, and she nods. Trusting, believing, sleeping. I glance at the tablet on the desk, still charged, the cracked screen catching the faint moonlight. I don't need it for proof anymore. I need it as a reminder. A reminder of what patience and strategy can achieve. A reminder that sometimes the most powerful weapon is silence, and the quietest victories are the most complete. Because in the end, she thought the courtroom was her stage. She didn't realize that the spotlight had already shifted. And it wasn't her who shone. It was a 6-year-old child, innocent yet brave, unwittingly exposing truth and tearing down a lie from within. Truth doesn't shout. It waits. And when it strikes, it doesn't just reveal, it changes everything.